Alright, now this is the pay-per-view portion of my super-ass long video that I haven't gotten sick of filming yet. So, by the time I'm done, I'll probably be like, ugh, yeah, whatever, Merry Christmas, you fucking bastards, or whatever, you know. But right now, I'm still energetic now, so, yeah, pay-per-views. I did order Final Resolution. I wanted to review it, and one thing I didn't make clear when I reviewed Survivor Series, I don't do star ratings. So don't ask. If you do like star ratings or you do star ratings for your videos, that's fine. That's cool. It's your deal. I don't care. I just feel like if I'm talking and you listen to what I'm saying, you can get the gist of whether or not I like the match or the show. I just don't feel like assigning a grade to something. And you know, I've seen people squabble over a half a star here or a half a star there or whatever, and I just feel like, look, I'll just tell you whether or not I like the match and how much I liked it, and that'll be good enough. You know? Fair enough? Yeah. So, Final Resolution, I saw it, and unfortunately, I kind of walked away from it feeling the same way I did about Survivor Series, where it's kind of a half-and-half show, although it wasn't quite as segmented as Survivor Series was, where it was literally the first half was good, the second half was bad. But it was kind of like, I enjoyed half of it, and I didn't like the other half. The middle of the show was very strong. I thought... the first blood match I thought was really good, and it's kind of flying under the radar. Nobody's really talking about it, but I really enjoyed that match. I thought it was fun to watch Rhino and RVD just have a nice, fun, brawling type of match without going overboard, because it didn't take away from the Full Metal Mayhem match. They didn't do like tables or big falls or anything. They did a Van Terminator, which was cool, but it was definitely a fun match, and I enjoyed it. AJ and Douglas Williams is getting rave reviews, rightfully so. It was a hell of a match, great technical match, and for somebody who's been watching AJ Styles as long as I have, it was amazing to see him pull out some things I've never seen him do before, and it was just a great technical match. I really enjoyed it. It was the wrestling purist's dream of the show, I guess. That's what Taz called it, I think, and yeah, they really went at it. It was a lot of fun to watch, and I enjoyed it. And that chaos theory outside the ring, I don't think, if I were a wrestler, I probably wouldn't take that, because I don't know how you protect yourself on something like that. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and it was great. Match of the night, definitely. I was a little surprised that Williams won the title, but other than that, it was great. Full Metal Mayhem was the crazy spot fest hardcore fun. It was a lot of, it was a lot of fun. Jen Me and the Guns. They worked in a lot of exciting spots. It was crazy. It did take a little bit of a long time to set up that three-ladder structure there, but other than that, the finish was really cool, and they had a lot of sick falls, and it was the type of fun I would expect out of a match like this from these two teams. So, good job. Yeah, the middle of the show was very good, and I thought the opener was really good too. Beer Money and Ink Inc. I just love watching Beer Money go to work. They could work with just about anybody, and I'd probably be interested in it. So yeah, I enjoyed that. They got the win. Now we got Beer Money and the Machine Guns to look forward to. I did not like the Falls Count Anywhere match with Mickey and Tara. I thought it was kind of boring, with a weird ending where they wind up in the men's room. But, it was kind of funny, but the match as a whole, I was surprisingly bored with it, but they more than made up for it on Impact. I'll get to that later. But then we had the X Division title match, which I said in my preview I wasn't going to like it, and I still didn't like it when I watched it because it was stupid. I hate the gimmick. I hate the Shore characters. I hated the finish. I just did not like the match. So, the casket match was dumb, boring match, and it just, I don't know, just didn't do it for me. I don't know. Undertaker could make that match work. Shawn Michaels could make that match work because he, would bump around like a madman. But I don't know. It just didn't. The match just didn't grab my attention, other than Abyss punching through the casket, which was kind of funny. But the submission match I didn't like, and I don't like that Jeff Jarrett went over. I know Joe's in contract negotiations and stuff, but I'm like, don't you know who your future is? I mean, come on. Joe wins. I'm sorry. And when's Pope going to win a match? I keep waiting. I can't remember the last time I saw Pope win a match. But, whatever. And the main event was okay. It was Hardy and Morgan. I felt like they were doing too much stuff. Like, they did a Morgan injury, and they did a bit with Anderson where he got mad at Hardy and, did that stuff. And Bischoff attacked Anderson and threw the referee in, and yada, yada, yada. I felt like there was kind of like too much going on, but I mean, the match was okay. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't great, but it kind of was what it was. I thank God they resisted the urge to do a stupid swerve with Anderson, because that would have just been ridiculous, and wouldn't have made any sense at all. So, with pay-per-views like this and like Survivor Series, I feel like it's better to start weak and end strong. I would like the whole show to be good, but if you have to have one or the other, it'd be better to start weak and end strong, because the ending is the last thing that people remember. And that, it's kind of like Michaels and Undertaker this year, where WrestleMania as a whole was all right, but I kind of walked away from it feeling pretty good because Michaels and Undertaker was so damn amazing. And unfortunately, here you had like I said, you had a strong middle, but the last hour was kind of weak sauce. So I kind of walk away from it thinking, whatever. So yeah, that's 2 pay-per-views in a row I watched, and I did not get my money's worth. But there you go. Yeah, I also wanted to talk a little bit about TLC, which is coming up in a couple weeks, I think. As I'm doing this, there isn't much of a card established yet. You got Edge and Kane in a TLC match for the World Heavyweight title, which, translation, Kane sucks, so we need to mask the fact that he sucks. So you'll see a bunch of falls in this match. But whatever. And I think there's Miz versus Orton for the title in a tables match. And I think Ray versus Alberto Del Rio is signed, which, none of those matches really grabbed my interest, to be perfectly honest. Why is Miz and Orton a tables match? I don't know. Nobody cares. And that's the problem with this pay-per-view as a whole. It's another one of those gimmick pay-per-views where they're just kind of forcing a gimmick onto the wrestlers, and it doesn't really fit any kind of logical situation. And they gave away a TLC match on Raw a couple weeks ago. So the attraction of the pay-per-view has already been blown. And that match was horrible, by the way. I was so excited for Miz, in his first night as champion. And they go out there, have him cut an awesome promo. And then it all goes downhill because he has to fight a 61-year-old announcer who has done absolutely nothing to earn a title shot. So he gets this match, and it takes 3 people to beat a 61-year-old announcer. And I'm just sitting there like, okay, you know what? If you're going to do this match, Miz should destroy him. It does not do him any favors to almost go down to a 61-year-old announcer who's not worth anything anymore. It's kind of like what Morgan and Ric Flair had that match a couple weeks ago and on Impact, and I said, if I were booking, that would be a 30-second match. Morgan throws him in the corner, elbows him, that thing he does, comes off the ropes, carbon footprint, it's over. Because I don't believe that a 61-year-old man could hang with Matt Morgan in a real fight. I think Morgan would kill him. And that's how I would have done it. And it's kind of the same thing here. It's like, look, you got this young guy in a match that involves weapons against a guy who can barely move, and who can't even climb up a ladder. He had trouble getting up there. Miz destroys him, and that's how it should go down. But, yeah, whatever. But getting back to the pay-per-view, like I said, I don't like the gimmick. I don't care, and it looks like I'm not going to care about any of the matches that they sign, because I just don't see anything on the horizon that's that good. Unless they do what they did for Survivor Series and just rush a bunch of mid-card matches on there that are pretty good with almost no build-up, but will be really good matches regardless. And the main event, Edge and Kane, I hate this feud so much. Wile E. Coyote, Roadrunner bullshit. Did anybody else expect Edge when he's running around with the wheelchair with Paul Bearer in it? Did anybody else expect to hear meep meep as he's running by? It was just that ridiculous. And for people who tell me that SmackDown's actually a good show, I just have to just roll my eyes and think, are you insane? This is what passes for a good show now? I mean, that's their main story. That's what the show's been about the last few weeks. And nobody's called the cops on Edge. Nobody's called the cops on Cena, even though he breaks into the show every week and he's not supposed to be there. I guess nobody in the WWE knows how to call 911. And, as opposed to the Attitude Era where the cops were called all the time for shit. Because, that's what logical, sane people do. But, yeah, TLC I don't think is going to be worth it, and I'm not going to check it out. But one other pay-per-view that is happening in December is Final Battle from Ring of Honor. And much like Glory by Honor 9, like I said, I don't get HDNet. I don't have the TV show. I try to watch it whenever I can on YouTube, but it's just hard to get into the regimen of doing it on a computer. I would love to have it on my television screen. Just to give me some kind of a legitimate option for a quality wrestling program. And I've said this before with Glory by Honor 9. Look, if you're willing to pay money for a WWE pay-per-view, which are up to $45 now, if you're willing to pay the money for a TNA pay-per-view, which is up to $35 now, look, it's $15. It's the price of a meal. It won't kill you to order this pay-per-view. I'll be honest. There were technical problems with the last one, sure, but again, it's just $15. It's not the end of the world. Yeah, I think it'll be worth your money. And it's not even like, I don't even think it's like that phenomenal of a card. I don't like Roderick Strong, and I hope he drops the title to Davey Richards. I've just always thought of Roderick Strong. It's like, yeah, he's Chalk Boy. He's just a giant stick of chalk. He's got some cool backbreakers, but that's about it. You know, he's one of those guys. Like, great athlete and everything, but just not an ounce of charisma. I love Davey Richards. I think he's a phenomenal worker, and I would hope that he would win the title. Daniels versus Homicide. I think that could be a good match. I think, I would want Daniels to win just because I think it would set up Daniels versus Richards, and that's out of the possibilities, out of those four men, that's the one I would want the most. Daniels versus Richards, because I think that would be the best match. So absolutely go for that. Homicide's one of those guys. I kind of liked him better in the tag team. It's like LAX, and I know he did stuff in Ring of Honor with Joe and a lot of other stuff that I didn't see, but based on what I've seen from him, I don't know. I just like him better as in the tag team, and Hernandez too. But and I can say that about a lot of guys. It's like right now with Team 3D, it's like I don't want to see them feud. I want them off my TV, to be perfectly honest. But Briscoes and their dad versus Kings of Wrestling, and I think their manager, which I don't understand why they did that. They can do fine on their own. You really don't have to add non-wrestlers to the mix, but whatever. I think it'll be a good match regardless, just because of the teams involved. I mean, they are two excellent tag teams, and I think they will do really, really well in this match, regardless of a questionable decision. And the big attraction I think everybody is really excited for is the El Generico versus Kevin Steen fight without honor, mask versus career. That they built it up over the course of a year. I know Ring of Honor doesn't do monthly pay-per-views, and maybe that kind of lends itself to, doing this match the right way and booking it the right way and not pulling the trigger right away on the finale to the feud. But, I think that match will be great, absolutely, and I think that's the key attraction of the show. So, when I say that this pay-per-view will be worth $15, it will be worth $15. Chances are there'll be at least one match on there that'll be worth the price of the pay-per-view. Glory by Honor 9, it was the tag match. Kings of Wrestling versus World's Greatest Tag Team. And there was more stuff to enjoy on that show. So, again, if you're looking for something different besides WWE and TNA, absolutely check this show out. You will not regret it, I promise. Because even if you don't even like the show that much, look, it's just $15. I mean, come on, if you're a wrestling fan and you want something good, check it out. Try something new. It's a lesson of life. Trying new things is not always a bad thing. It'll be fun. I think the show will be enjoyable. Even though I don't think it's like I said, I don't think it's the most stellar card in the world, but I think Davey Richards could walk away with the title. I think the fight without honor will be really good, and I think in spite of having non-wrestlers in the mix, I think the tag match will be really good, and Daniels and Homicide will be good as well. So you've got a pretty solid card. Oh, and Awesome Kong's making an appearance in a women's tag match. That'll be fine, because Amazing Kong is awesome to watch. So absolutely, check out Final Battle. Don't make my mistake. Don't order Final Resolution. Don't order the replay. Don't order TLC. Just check out Final Battle. Absolutely. I think it'll be good.